I am the Gridiron Ghost, the voice that lingers long after the final whistle fades. I've watched rivalries ignite, dynasties rise, and traditions turn into something sacred. This is Campus Chronicles, beyond the game, where history breathes, legends speak, and the echoes never fade. Tonight, we travel to a place where the night itself joins the team, where 110,000 people in white turn sound into spectacle and belief into power. This is the whiteout, when the night turns white. It started with a whisper, not from the players, but from the stands. The year was 2004. Penn State, a program once defined by dominance, had drifted into uncertainty. Head coach Joe Paterno was still revered, but the crowds were quieter, the student section half empty. The thunder had gone missing from Happy Valley. Then came Guido Delia, a communications director with a phone background and a sense of theater. He had a simple idea: make every fan part of the show. One color, one message, one movement. At first, only a few student sections listened. They wore white against Purdue, bright islands in a sea of navy. But when Ohio State came to town the next year, the idea caught fire. By kickoff, the entire stadium shimmered. And when the final horn sounded on a 17-10 upset, a new kind of legend was born. What began as a marketing experiment became something mystical. Guido Delia understood something few in college athletics had ever dared to engineer: emotion. He didn't see Beaver Stadium as concrete and seats, he saw it as a stage. His vision borrowed from rock concerts and film direction. He synchronized camera angles, crowd shots, and even scoreboard graphics to music, so every time the crowd cheered, it felt like part of a score. His team coined a phrase: create goosebumps. That was their goal. Not just victory, but emotion so strong it could travel through television screens and into living rooms across America. It worked. The whiteout wasn't just loud, it was cinematic. A broadcast spectacle that every network wanted and every rival feared. Beaver Stadium isn't just large, it's colossal. Rising above the farmlands of central Pennsylvania, it's the second largest stadium in the Western Hemisphere. When 110,000 people wear white, the place glows. It's not illumination from lights, it's reflection from unity. Players call it the blizzard effect. Quarterback Trace McSorley once said, "You can't hear yourself think, and that's the beauty of it." The air seems to vibrate. The sound bounces off the mountain ridges and back into the bowl like rolling thunder. It's not just a home field advantage, it's sensory overload. On whiteout night, time stretches, and the field looks smaller, swallowed by the enormity of belief. If the Horseshoe in Columbus is a cathedral, Beaver Stadium is a volcano. The decibel levels have been recorded above 110, rivaling the roar of an aircraft taking off. At the center of the storm stands the S Zone, the student section. They wave towels, stomp their feet, and bounce in rhythm to the pulsing beat of Zombie Nation. When that bass drops, da-da-da-da-da, you can feel it in your chest. The bleachers shake, the camera trembles, and the players' helmets shimmer under the floodlights. It's no longer a football game. It's a coordinated, emotional event, a living, breathing force field of loyalty. The true test of any tradition isn't when it begins, it's when it's challenged. In 2011, when Penn State faced one of the darkest chapters in sports history, many assumed the whiteout would disappear. But it returned. The fans showed up again, dressed in white, not in denial, but in defiance of despair. It became a statement: we are still here. We are still Penn State. The chant, "We are Penn State," born decades earlier as a cry for unity, took on new power. Under the lights, thousands repeated it, steady and unbroken, a declaration that faith could outlast shame. For players, the whiteout is more than crowd noise, it's memory. Linebackers talk about goosebumps under their shoulder pads. Receivers describe the way the towels look like snow when the stadium exhales. For fans, it's personal. Parents bring their children to their first whiteout like a rite of passage. Grandparents stand shoulder to shoulder with freshmen, swaying together, voices hoarse, tears hidden behind face paint. One fan once said, "You don't go to a whiteout to watch the game, you go to feel it." That's the difference between attendance and belonging. There have been many whiteouts, but only a few that changed the sport. 2005, the first full stadium whiteout, an upset over Ohio State. 2008, Illinois under the lights, a national showcase. 2013, the 4-overtime thriller against Michigan, where exhaustion turned to ecstasy under a white sky of confetti. In 2016, the blocked field goal returned for a touchdown against Ohio State, a single play that resurrected an entire program. Seismographs in State College recorded the tremor. That is not metaphor, it literally shook the earth. Opposing coaches call it the loudest environment in college football. Fans simply call it home. Every whiteout begins in darkness. The lights dim. The announcer's voice fades. Then, a glow. Cell phones lift high, 110,000 tiny stars blinking into existence. It's more than a signal, it's a promise. A promise that every fan will shine for the team, that together they'll turn night into day. The band begins Fight On State, and the valley shimmers like a constellation painted across the bleachers. It's the kind of beauty you don't just see, you feel it in your spine. The whiteout reminds us that tradition doesn't have to be ancient to be sacred. It proves that unity can be engineered and that the truest rituals are born from emotion, not instruction. In a time when the world feels divided, a stadium full of strangers wearing the same color offers something rare, a glimpse of harmony. The whiteout isn't about perfection or victory. It's about presence, about standing shoulder to shoulder in the cold, shouting until your voice gives out, and realizing you're part of something that glows. Next week, the Gridiron Ghost heads south to Death Valley, South Carolina, where the heat, the bass, and the beat of Sandstorm shake the stadium from the inside out. From the moment the track drops to the moment the crowd loses its voice, we'll explore how one song turned a small college field into a hurricane of sound. Join us for Sandstorm, when the crowd becomes the storm. The lights dim, the echoes fade, but the spirit remains. I am the Gridiron Ghost, a witness to every chant, every cheer, every chapter of this game we love. You've been listening to Campus Chronicles, Beyond the Game, a JourneyWise Studios production, where the past still speaks, and the stories never rest. Follow the echoes wherever you listen. And until next time, keep your spirit loud, your history close, and remember, the echoes never fade.